His investment portfolio has at least 50% per annum of return since 1997. So everyone, without further ado, we would like to invite our talented speaker, Mr. Wilson, to deliver his speech and teaching for us. Okay, Mr. Wilson, I will leave this session for you, right? Mr. Wilson, we can't hear you. We still can't hear you, your voice.
Mr. Wilson, we cannot hear you, Mr. Wilson. Melayu dia tak dengar, dia tak dengar ke? I think we have
Mr. Wilson,
to show a sign, I guess. We have to show a sign that we couldn't hear him. Yeah.
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, we can't hear you.
Puan Dayu, I have suggested Mr. Wilson to leave and then rejoin. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Makluman semua, Mr. Wilson from Singapore, maybe ada apa masalah line
Tapi
saja.
Puan Dayu, do you remember last semester we also had the same problem?
Yes, we also face the same problem. Because,
Okay. So
last semester,
let's say if we still have the same problem, what are we going to do later? Are we going to use Microsoft? Are we going to use Google Meet? Puan Dayu? Like Google Meet, we have like numbers of participants will be like capped to 100 kan, betul tak Puan?
Ya betul, but tak boleh record lah macam tu sebab kita tak ada recording tools kan.
Last time what did we do actually?
Kita guna Microsoft Teams yang last SEMS.
Oh, Microsoft Teams. Okay.
Tapi kita tunggulah, kita cuba
Okay, sure.
tunggu.
We give it a try first. Okay, Puan.
Mohon maaf semua ya, kita tunggu semula Mr. Wilson untuk kembali ke Webex.
Hi everyone, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes,
Thank you so much. I'm so
clear.
sorry everybody. I'm so sorry everybody.
All right, Mr. Wilson. So we can leave you with the presenting.
Thank you so much. Sorry about the technical issue that I've encountered. Once again, thank you everybody for taking time off to attend this training on Refinitiv Eikon. I'm your trainer for today. My name is Wilson. Before we start, just want to say Assalamualaikum to every one of you. Let me share with you my screen, all right, so that you are able to see my Refinitiv Eikon. We can keep all the questions that you have towards the question and answer session towards the end. So you can just go ahead to follow me as much as you can. And if you do have any question, just save it for the questions and answer later. So I'm just going to stop my video. You have already seen what I look like. I'm just going to stop it for the sake that of bandwidth, so that I have enough bandwidth on my end. Okay, just going to share my screen right now. So once again, welcome to Refinitiv Eikon. This is what the platform will look like if you were to go to the library to make use of it, or if you happen to get the user ID and password when you log in. This is the homepage for Refinitiv Eikon. Now, if any one of you here is wondering, right, how exactly do you log into your Refinitiv Eikon? If you happen to have the user ID and password, is that you can come to this website. I'm going to post this website on the chat. Okay, we're just going to post this website. All right, so there you go. I posted this website on the chat. So if you do have, happen to have the user ID and password, what you can do is come to this website to either log in and download the software, or to log into the web access. Now, some of you may be wondering, which should you log into? Should you log in and download the software, or should you be logging to the website? Give me a second, right? So sorry, just give me a second. Sorry, once again, now, if you're wondering what to log into, if you ever need the Excel, you should be downloading the software. So once you log in and you download the software, if you're using a Windows operating system, right, what happens is that you will be able to see the Refinitiv folder in your start button, just like how you are seeing on screen right now. You will be able to see Refinitiv Eikon and Refinitiv Eikon for Microsoft Excel. This is only if you download the software. Now, if you are telling me that you don't need to use the Excel, then you can always go ahead to make use of the web access. The Excel add-in will look like this. Okay, the Excel add-in will look like this. You will be able to see the Refinitiv Eikon here as an add-on, and you can always sign in. Okay, so this is the Refinitiv Eikon. Now I'm going to go to the home page. If you log into the Refinitiv product, you will be able to see the home page like this. Okay, the front page basically shows you all the news, and you can easily customize the news. Let's say, for instance, I would like to read about the news from the central banks and global economy. I can click on this and click on save, so I'm able to read the news. But to be very honest with you, nobody really come here to make use of the news page. But let me show it to you later. There are many things that I'd like to share with you today, and most of the things are actually stored in the app library. So if you follow me, come to the icon button, click on the icon button, right? You will be able to see the app library. So the app library is here. I'm going to click on the app library. And I'm going to go to all categories. Okay. What is App Library? App Library is similar to your smartphone app stores. It contains a lot of apps. The apps are necessary for you to view more data that is specific to a financial instrument, or for you to make use of the analytics and calculators. There are many categories, as you can see in the app library. There are analytics and calculators, charting, company, markets, just to name a few. You can also view all the apps sorted according to asset classes. Now, before I go to the bottom, I will always revert to all categories so that it will show me all the categories of apps relating to commodities and energy, if not cross asset, if not equities, fixed income, FX and money market. Now, very importantly, right, let's say if I go to equities, if you take a look at all the apps stored within the app library function, one thing you will notice is that there are shortcut keys, or what we call mnemonic. So for instance, this particular app known as Advanced Research Search, the shortcut key is actually ADVRES. Now, why do we have this shortcut key? We have many users around the world. There are some users who are really time sensitive, and because they need to get the information out as fast as possible, within the less number of keystrokes, the better, right? Therefore, we do not need the users to type in the entire advanced research search, right? It will be too long to type. All they need to do is type in ADVRES. So I'm just going to type in here to show it to you, ADVRES. There'll be a suggested drop down. Click on the suggested drop down to launch the app, and you will be able to see that the app is being launched. All right. So this advanced research search is really very useful amongst all the students. Why is it useful? Is because a lot of students will need to perform equity research, and the best way to perform equity research to investigate about a listed company is to, of course, leverage on the research report such as this that you are seeing here, right? However, if this is something that you wouldn't want to view, again, you can always go to other topics apart from company research. You can also take a look at macroeconomic research, etc., etc. All right. So I'm just going to close this. So for the entire 1 hour, I'm going to share with you some of the popularly used apps that a lot of our clients want to make use of, and I'm also going to teach you how to navigate and search for things within the Refinitiv Eikon platform. Okay, so all the apps that I'll be showcasing to you today all comes from the app library. So once again, how do you launch the app library? So each time you log into your Refinitiv Eikon, all you need to do is to click on this icon drop down and go to the app library. All right. The apps that you are seeing here basically comes from the app library. So how is the apps landed here? Let me show you. When I launch the app library, let's say if I go to company, right? And let's assume that company deals is something that I will want to look at. I can click on the star to make it as my favorite. So once it becomes my favorite, when I go to my apps, I'll be able to see company deals here. These are all my favorite apps that has a star being clicked on. Okay, a star being clicked on. Let's say, for instance, the getting started is not something that I like. I can just unclick the star and it will be removed. Okay, it will be removed. Now, I can also come to the icon drop down here, and you will be able to see from from here, you'll be able to see those favorite that you have added. Okay, you will be able to see those favorite that you have added. Everything will appear here. All right. So this is how this apps work. So I'm just going to close this. There are a lot of information that you can find on Refinitiv Eikon platform. Question that you'll be wondering, why are you taking time off to actually learn this platform is because when you go to the banking and finance sector, after you graduate and you aspire to be a banker, to be a trader, to be a fund manager, to be a risk manager, to be a private banker, to be an investment banker, right, etc., etc. The tools of the trade in the banking and finance sector will be financial data platforms such as this. Similarly, if you're sick and you were to visit a doctor, the tools of the trade of a doctor is actually a stethoscope. Now, some of you will be wondering, how come I can't use Google? Google. Sorry? Sorry, I can hear someone speaking. Yes? Okay, let me just continue. Now, some of you will be wondering, why don't you use Google? The reason why the professionals, bankers don't use Google is because Google doesn't really contain all the specialized information and presented in a very unique way to everyone. All right, so I'm going to go to my assets. So starting from the top here, right, there are a lot of toolbars that you can see from the homepage. So if I go to asset classes and I go to foreign exchange, I will be able to view the different foreign exchanges information. So I can go to home, go to Asia, and I'm able to view the Asian currencies against the US dollar. And I can see who is the key contributor. So I can see for Malaysia Ringgit at the moment, MUFG, which is a Japanese bank, is contributing to the bid-ask price. Foreign exchange is traded over the counter, so you will always be able to view who are the sources contributing to these prices. You can see some of them are actually moving in real time. Okay, so apart from being able to view according to region, you can also view cryptocurrencies. Now, these days in the banks, right, the banks are actually providing cryptocurrency services to support their clients. And for cryptocurrency, you can view the top few cryptocurrencies by market capitalization. So these are some of the largest cryptocurrencies out there. For instance, if I go to Bitcoin, I'll be able to view Bitcoin prices. Okay, you can view all kinds of Bitcoin prices here. Likewise, if I go to if I go to data providers, right? If I go to data providers, I'll be able to view if this list of cryptocurrencies doesn't satisfy you and you want a longer list of cryptocurrencies, right? You can always go to Crypto Compare. So once I go to Crypto Compare, I'll be able to view the top 100 cryptocurrencies according to market capitalization. And you are able to see a lot of cryptocurrencies being quoted for you here. All right, so this is an important source for cryptocurrency for you. Money markets, if I go to money market, and you guys will know, according to theory, money market means any short-term instrument that's less than 1 year to maturity. So this is the money market rates. And how do you view the money market rates? Very simple. All you have to do is choose Malaysia. So I'm just going to choose Malaysia Ringgit, and I'll be able to view the 3-month Malaysia Ringgit fixing chart. I'm able to view the deposits, Malaysia Ringgit deposits, and Malaysia Ringgit, the interbank offer rate. You can view it here. Okay. You can, of course, zero in on deposits if you want to, or any of these, let's say, Islamic interbank markets. You can view the Islamic interbank markets here. Everything is quoted here for you. Let me move on. If I go to fixed income and I want to find out more information about Malaysia yield curve, this is the Malaysia Ringgit term structure. That means from 1 month or from 3 weeks all the way to 30 years, the structure of Malaysia yield curve is given by here. Of course, you can go to market data and tools and learn up more about the apps that's supporting Malaysia bonds market, or even the market report. So for market report, if I like to see if there's any distressed bond in Malaysia, what do? I can always click on distressed bond. And then I can select the country. All right, I can select the country by going to Malaysia. Update, and I'll be able to see all the bonds that have default or have very high credit spread because they are known as distressed bonds. Their credit spread will be very high. So if you are ever investing into the bonds, right, there are 32 bonds in Malaysia that's close to default. Not sure if it defaulted yet, but these are the list of bonds that you want to avoid simply because they are considered as distressed bonds. What else can I share with you? I can always go to equities. So when I go to equities, right, I'll be able to see, let's say if I click on the drop down and I go to indices, indices will be able to show me all the top equity indexes around the whole world. So if I click on the drop down, right, I'm able to see benchmark indices globally. All right, if I scroll down, I'm able to see Asia benchmark indices. These are the list of Asia equity indexes, and you can see where my mouse is pointed at. That is the FTSE Bursa Malaysia. Apart from this, I can also, instead of choosing price performance, I can always choose ratios. Click on update view. I'm able to see ratios like price to book, price to earnings, market capitalization. Now, what if I like to view all the equity indices that's published by FTSE Bursa? What I need to do is go to the drop down, go to mains and sectors. So under mains and sectors, I will need to change. Instead of United States of America, I'll change to Malaysia. So I'm able to view the top indices as published by FTSE Bursa and also the top sectorial indices as published by FTSE Bursa. I'm able to view all of this. All right. So what I'm going to do next is to go back to the main homepage. Okay, now I'm going to go to the asset classes and go to commodities. I know Malaysia, for some of the universities, the professor love to come to the commodities page because the commodities page contain a lot of information that they can share with their students, and they can also set assignment for their students. Let me share with you more. Now, in the commodities homepage, right, I can of course go to agriculture as an example. You can always go to other commodities, but in the interest of time, let me quickly share with you what some of the other universities professor will do. And if you are going out there to work, right, especially for commodities companies, or even if you are dealing with commodities in the bank, this is the place for you to search for a lot of commodity prices. So let's say Malaysia has a lot of palm oil, which is considered as oil seeds here. So I'm just going to go to oil seeds, and I'm going to go to palm oil, specifically palm oil. I can click on palm oil. So here, this page, I get all the palm oil prices and information globally, from cash instruments to derivative instruments like your futures. I'm able to view everything here. Right? I'm able to view some of the key news about palm oil here as well. I can go to news to drill down onto palm oil news from around the world. If I go to futures, I'll be able to see some of the futures palm oil prices from Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and even China and US. Cash prices will show me all the spot prices. Okay, I can click on the drop down and look at market analysis from Refinitiv. This market analysis written by our palm oil expert or commodities expert, and you will be able to learn from them. Now, of course, apart from this is the all popular Malaysia palm oil board daily prices. So this is the Malaysia palm oil board daily prices. You can go to analysis. There's a separate analysis for you to view the analysis of some of the palm oil again around the world. Flows will show you how commodities for palm oil is actually flowing, and you can see from here this is the Malaysia and Indonesia export chart. Fundamentals will give you fundamental information pertaining to palm oil. Weather will give you. There's actually a weather dashboard. Once I click on this, it will launch for me a weather dashboard. Yes, you're seeing this right. In your Refinitiv Eikon, we do provide weather dashboard for our users, especially commodities traders who depend a lot on the weather. So if I would go to South Asia, right? Southeast Asia. And I go to Malaysia, I'll be able to view the weather for Malaysia. What else can I show you? When I go to countries, I can search for Malaysia as well, or any countries I want to look at. This is what we call a company overview, and you are able to see a mixture of financial information together with economic information. I don't have time to go through each and every content in all the tabs, but let me go through with you some of the major key ones that are popularly used by my clients. So I'm going to go to overview of Malaysia financial markets. This is some of the reason why you do not use Google, because Google, you will never find a page where you are able to view the entire financial markets for Malaysia, be it for equity indexes, be it for the money markets, the bonds, yield structure or yield curve, the FX spot rates, the cross rates, the forward rates, the CDS, sovereign CDS, the fixing, everything that you want to know about Malaysia financial markets, you can always view it under financial markets. Next, I go to central bank overview. You will be able to view Malaysia central bank monetary policy. You can see that right now, who is the governor of Bank Negara Malaysia, which is Datuk Noor Syamsia. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. And you're able to see Malaysia monetary policies. Credit will show me Malaysia sovereign credit default swap, and CDS, as you know, right, credit default swap is actually an insurance premium. Okay, insurance premium to protect investors from any bond defaults. Okay, so that structure, which is the next step, will show you all the treasury that Malaysia has ever issued. So you're able to see the size of the debt on a country basis. So you can see this is the amount that Malaysia government has actually borrowed in Malaysia ringgit. If you don't want Malaysia ringgit, you can always put in US dollar. All right. And if you like to view, let's say 2026, I like to see what are the bonds that are maturing in 2026. Once I click on 2026, I'm able to view all the bonds that are maturing in 2026. If I don't want to view by maturity, I can also view by country of issue. Okay, so these are the list of country that Malaysia has actually issued its bonds in. Economics overview will show me the time series of some of the important economic data. So let's say, for instance, I'd like to view the GDP current prices of Malaysia. I can click on this and it will show me the absolute GDP prices for Malaysia. Okay, so this is the maximum. I can view the absolute GDP price for Malaysia. Let me go back. And if I go to sovereign risk, I'm able to view all the the riskiness that pertains to Malaysia Treasury instruments. Okay, it's all viewed here. Comparison, you were able to compare Malaysia information against some other countries, be it for ASEAN or be it for the Asia Pacific. Everything you can view here. So this thing once again, right, this page is called country overview. In fact, you can always type in here Malaysia, right, and you'll be able to launch the country overview. Even if I close this, right, I have launched this at the background, and this is Malaysia country overview. If I don't want Malaysia, I can always put something like China, and I'll be able to view China country overview, right? Okay, assuming I accidentally close off the homepage, right, I can always type in the homepage in the search, and I can search for the homepage. What else can I share with you? Industry will show you from a top-down perspective what is an industry is doing. So let's say, for instance, I have Malaysia here, I have consumer cyclicals. If I like to view the healthcare in Malaysia, I can click on healthcare, right? And I can always view the specific sector either at a country level or either at a sectorial level. Okay, it's up to you to drill in. So let's say I'm looking at healthcare sector in Malaysia. You can see that the healthcare sector in Malaysia has 34 stocks. If you're curious to know what are the stocks, you can always go to constituents and you will be able to view the constituents, the 34 stocks that make up the healthcare sector in Malaysia. You can view them by peer comparison. You can also view them by balance sheet. It's the same. Okay, you can see the balance sheet there. Right, so this is industry. It's quite a straightforward app. All you got to do, let's say for instance, I click on research, I'll be able to view all the research reports for healthcare sector in Malaysia. All right, if I like to go to earnings season, I'm able to view the earnings seasons that's up and coming in Malaysia. Okay, let me just set this up. Okay, so you are able to see Malaysia up and coming earnings season. You can see that 33% of the companies have already reported their earnings season, and unfortunately, in terms of this 33% who have reported, most of them have, fortunately, most of them have actually beat their estimates. So this is how you interpret the information. Let me just close this. Now, what else can I share with you? There's this other app that I'd like to share with you, which is the news and research. So if I go to Reuters top news, right, under the news and research, you'll be able to view any news according to the tabs here. There are a lot of tabs and a lot of information here. So let's say Japan inflation hits 8-year high in test of Bank of Japan dovish policy. I can always click on this and I'll be able to read the news. Okay, I'll be able to read the news. But let's say I want to read the news in Bahasa. What I can do is come to translate with Google and I'm going to choose Malay and everything will be translated to Malay for me. And especially for you, if you are using the platform in the library, what you want to do is to copy all the information that you see here, do a right click. Okay, sorry, I need to Control C. Okay, you Control C, and then you can launch your Word document. I'm launching my Word document, and you can paste the news that you want into your Word document or even to your Gmail. Whichever is convenient for you. If you paste it into Word document, you can always save it as an attachment to be Gmail out so that you don't have to stay in the library to make use of the news that you want to read. Rather, you can save all the news into the Word document, save it into your thumb drive so that you can review it later. So this is how easy it is for any user to actually export information from Refinitiv Eikon so that you can deal with the information or the data or content once you reach home. Once again, let me go to central bank and global economy. You can read any of the news anywhere here. Let's say, for instance, Asia shares subdue on rate hike. Once again, if you want to read this in Bahasa, click on Translate with Google, select Malay, and you will be able to view the news in Malay. Don't forget to copy and paste into your Word document. Okay, so this is how you can make use of this particular news. Okay, the rest of the tabs are not so relevant to students, so let me just skip this in the interest of time. Let me share with you. Let's say, for instance, if you are keen to search for a particular company, you can search for any listed company in the world. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to search for Sime Darby. Usually, all the financial instruments, for instance, like listed equities, right, they will come with a mnemonic. The mnemonic for Sime Darby is sime.kl. So I can click on this Sime Darby and I will launch what is known as a company overview. Okay, this is a company overview. This company overview is very, very popular among students and lecturers simply because you will be able to, for lecturers, they will be able to set assignment question. Let's say if you are doing your lecture for a module, be it in equity, or be it in accounting, or be it in corporate finance. Now, let me share with you this company overview. So in company overview, which is this, what this is called, you will be able to find an overview tab. In the overview tab, you'll be able to see that there is business summary. There are some news pertaining to this company, Sime Darby, and there's price performance pertaining to this Sime Darby, as you can see from here. Some fundamental and estimates information. You will get some estimates from information from recommendation as well, and peer comparison and relative valuation. If you go to the next tab, news and research, you click on news monitor, you will be able to view all the news pertaining to Sime Darby. If you want to read them, just click on it and you will launch another pop-up page, which you will be able to read the news. So once again, if you don't want to read this in English, click on Translate with Google, go to Malay, right? And you'll be translated by Google into Bahasa Melayu for you, all right? What else can you search for? You can search for the all-important company research. Company research is very important because sometimes the professor will set an assignment requiring the students to perform due diligence or stock pitch on a listed company. And for students, right, if your professor were to set an assignment pertaining to a stock pitch or requiring you to do a due diligence on a listed company, what you will want to do is come to this research function and you will want to read up on some of the research reports. So let's say, for instance, I have this particular research report by RHB Research. I can click on this to download the RHB research for Sime Darby. And the fastest way for students to come up to speed with any company, of course, apart from the audited financial report, is to make use of the research reports that's written by equity analysts. And having access to equity research report is also very important, especially if you're a student and you want to come up to speed with how the real professionals actually perform in terms of writing about the strength the weakness, the opportunities, the trap, the SWOT analysis for a particular company by the professionals. If you want to learn, you always learn from the professionals, and you can see how the professionals have done their research reports. Okay, I'm just going to close this. Price and chart. Let me go to chart. This is very important for students, especially students who needs to do presentation on a company. What you want to do is to come to chart. Sorry, I'm just waiting for it to load. Okay, let me just refresh the page. Okay, so I'm able to see Sun Derby. Okay, I'm able to see Sun Derby, and I can always type in the KLSE index. Okay, so I inserted the KLSE index, so I'm able to see the orange line, my Sun Derby, the purple line is the KLSE index. I can see both performance. I can even change the period of the performance according to the default buttons that I see below, or according to the calendar that I see here. Now, this is the absolute price for both the Sun Derby and the FTSE Bursa. I can always change this to rebasing. So I'm able to see Sun Derby and the KLSE performing about the same return between 16% and 17%. I can also see it from a relative performance. That means the price of Sun Derby divided by the KLSE index. All right, I can see the relative performance. Or I can also go to total return. And in total return, let me just go to 1 year. The dotted line will show me the price chart, right? The price return for Sun Derby. The solid line is actually the price return plus any dividend payout, and I get the total return. Okay, the solid line is always the total return, which is why it's checked here. So what can students do? Let me just return this to absolute price and remove the the KLSE. So I have the 1 year Sun Derby price chart. I can change the price chart anytime I want to candlesticks. I can add technical analysis. I'm going to go to show all. And let's say if I'm interested in Bollinger Band, I'm happy with the parameters, I can click on add. If I'm interested in MACD, moving average convergence, divergence, I'm happy with the parameters, I can click on add. So I have two technical analysis that I'm interested in. I can click on OK, and it will be inserted. What else can I insert? I can, of course, insert the event markers. So for event markers, I can insert anything from significant developments, which are the news developments, to dividends, to earnings, or even analyst ratings changes. Let's say if I choose analyst ratings changes, right, I'm able to see the analyst recommendation. So this particular analyst give a neutral, which is why I can see Sun Derby stock falling, all right, because this analyst give a neutral. I can then add in text. Let's say a balloon. I'm going to add in here, and I can tell my client to sell. Right, I can tell my client to sell. If I'm happy with this chart, or if I like to use this chart for presentation, I can always go to export chart, export as image, JPEG image. Oops. Sorry, someone is taking control of the sharing. Okay, let me take over the sharing, and I'm going to go to share. I hope you can see. All right. So like I said, I can always export chart, and I can go to JPEG. Then I click on OK. I'm going to click on open. Right, so I have this JPEG image of Sun Derby with my technical analysis. Then I'm just going to copy the clipboard. Once I copy the clipboard, I can always export the chart be it to a Word document or be it to any MS Office document, I can of course go to my PowerPoint. Okay, I'm launching my PowerPoint. And you see how easy it is to export chart from Refinitiv Eikon into your PowerPoint or Word document or even Excel, any MS Office. This is very important for students because if you ever need to perform a due diligence on a company and you need to extract the chart, this is how easily it is to extract the chart for your research reports. Okay, when you're performing your due diligence. Now I'm going to go to estimates and I'm going to go to statement view. I'd like you to know that in Refinitiv, we have a lot of data. And for estimates, right, estimate is not something that Refinitiv staff is able to give. We don't hire any equity analysts, but rather we go out into the market and we will get hold of as many different research reports from different banks and brokers as possible that covers a particular company. And we are able to extract the forward-looking estimates from these research reports. Always remember that anything to do with estimates or forward-looking forecasts, it always come from research reports, not the audited financial reports. All right. And for estimates, we have 4 different types of estimates. We have mean. Mean is, let's say, for instance, you can see here, this is revenue. If I have 15 analysts covering Sime Darby and all 15 analysts were to give revenue, right, in their forecast, you can always add up all the revenue and divide by the total number of analysts and you'll be able to get the mean. Mean basically means average. I'm sure you know that. Smart estimate is different from mean, where mean doesn't care how accurate the analyst is or how fresh the research report is. You just take the total number of estimate, you divide by total number of analysts, you will be able to get the average. Smart estimate cares about how accurate the analyst is. The more accurate the analyst is, the greater the weightings of the estimate. Another factor is smart estimate also cares about how fresh the research report is. The fresher the research report is, the greater the weightings. Okay, and this is what we call smart estimates. Median, as you study in statistics, basically just means the middle figure. Let's say you got 15 analysts giving the revenue, the middle figure would be the median. Lastly, you have single contributor. For single contributor, whatever you see in the research report from a particular broker or bank will be what you see here. So what I have here is Fin Huang. If I don't want Fin Huang, I prefer CIMB research. I can always click on CIMB research. And the estimates that you're seeing here are extracted from CIMB research. Now, very quickly, at any one time, you are able to see any PDF icon or Excel icon. You can always export the data. So I'm going to export these estimates into my Excel. Look, all I have to do is click on export as value, open, and I'm able to launch these exported values into my Excel. This is very important. Students, when you launch or exported anything into Excel, you can always save it into your Gmail so that you can deal with the figures later, or you can save it into your thumb drive. If you have thumb drive, stick it into the library computer that has an icon installed. So you can see this is the Refinitiv Eikon estimates for Sime Darby. Okay, so let me move on to recommendation and target price. For recommendation and target price, you will be able to see who are the bankers or brokers who's giving whatever recommendation and target price to Sime Darby. Okay, so let me share with you what we have done. You can see that TA Securities actually gives a buy, and you can see that Hong Leong Investment Bank actually give a buy. But notice that TA Securities buy has a 2, whereas Hong Leong Investment Bank buy has a 1. The thing is that different banks or different brokers will calibrate their recommendation methodology differently. And it's not right to just take hold of a research report and see that it is a buy, it is also another buy from another bank. Therefore, the conclusion is that this stock is a buy. No, you can't do that because different research report have different methodology. So what you really need to do, or what Refinitiv had done, is we had value added by standardizing every recommendation into our standardized template. You can see 1 is a strong buy all the way to 5 is a strong sell. And this is 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, and current. You can see that the number of analysts that's giving a hold has increased from 3 to 4 over time. And below is actually the median and mean target price, right? And you can see that the current recommendation for Sime Darby is actually a buy. A buy is a 2, so you can see that this is actually a buy. Upside potential, you can see the last traded price for Sime Darby is 2.21, and according to the target price given, right, is 2.63 or 19.5% upside. Now, if you scroll down with me, right, you are able to see that TA Securities buy is a 2. 2 means that it is only a buy, okay? Whereas for Hong Leong Investment Bank, the buy is actually a 1. What does 1 mean? 1 means a strong buy. Add up all these numbers that you see here, divide by total number of analysts, right? You are able to come to the consensus mean of recommendation of 1.9. 1.9, you round it up, is actually a 2, which is a buy. So this is how we arrive at the recommendation. Financials. Next, I come to financial income statement. This income statement is very important. Like I said, if you need information like from the audited financial report or from the estimate, Refinitiv Eikon financial platform is the best that you can go for. So these income statements, balance sheet, and cash flow, basically these are extracted from the audited financial report. Okay. In the past, during my time, right, whenever we need audited financial report information, we need to go to the company website to download 1 year at a time. And what I will do is to copy the financial information from the PDF and then paste it into Excel, and hopefully it comes out nicely. These days, you no longer need to do that. It's not so tedious. You can see that I have Sime Darby here. I'm going to choose as reported, and I'm going to export it. So from here, you can see there's an Excel icon. You click on the Excel icon. You can see that's exported already. Click on open, and look, I have just exported Sime Darby income statements. You can see this is Sime Darby income statement, right? All the way from 2022 all the way back to 1996. The entire income statement is exported very, very nicely for me. You can see how convenient and how fast it is for me to export this information. Now, if I like to know what is this total revenue and where in the audited financial report it comes from, I can always click on 42.5, and you can see Refinitiv Eikon is already trying to download the audited financial report to show me where this 42.5 actually is coming from, right? You can do an audit trail. Okay, because Refinitiv Eikon is trying to download the entire audited financial report, it will take some time. So in the meanwhile, I'd like to share with you, if ever you like to compare Sime Darby, which is in the consumer goods conglomerate sector, right? If I want to compare this with another similar sector listed company from another country, can I do so? The answer is no. Why? Different countries have different audited financial report regulations. But what you need to do in order to compare apple and apple is to change the income statements, balance sheet, or cash flow statements into standardized. Standardized means the entire thing that you see here for the income statement is making use of the standardized International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS. Okay, and if you take a look at the total revenue, okay, you can see that the total revenue I have here in the audited financial report is 42.5. This is where you get the 42.5 in for the total revenue in the audited financial report. Okay, 42.5. Just going to close this. Now, even if I'm at standardized, right, I'm able to go to total revenue and I click on this, and I'm able to see the where the source of this 42.5 comes from, even if I change to standardized. Okay, you can do an audit trail. Very simple to do an audit trail. Okay, and once again, the audited financial report has been downloaded, and you are able to see the 42.5. Even in standardized, I can do an audit trail 42.5 because you may not be familiar with some of the templates being used here. Now, apart from this, you need key ratios matrix. These are the key ratio matrix. I know a lot of students, when they are performing due diligence, they will need ratios, but here you can see all the ratios nicely done for you across liquidity ratios, operating ratios, profitability ratios, leverage ratio. Everything is done nicely for you. And you even have the industry median for you to compare against. Okay, I'm going to go to ESG. ESG is very important these days. A lot of banks, a lot of investors, everybody is looking at ESG. So for the professor who's setting assignment, especially on due diligence on a company, on a listed company, and if you'd like to learn more about ESG, do let me know. I have a separate class about ESG. Is half an hour long, so I won't cover it here today. Event. If I go to corporate event, right, I'll be able to see up and coming event for Sun Dhabi. I'll give you an example. So this year, if I like to view any earnings releases or even dividends, I can click on done, and I'm able to view any upcoming dividends or earnings for Sun Dhabi. You can come to here to choose the type of events that you want to view. So I'm able to see that 28 November, Sun Dhabi is having an earnings release. I can even come to dividend overview to see all the historical dividend that Sun Dhabi has already paid out. Okay, if I want to keep track with all the historical dividends, I can. Ownership will show me who are the top owners of Sun Dhabi, so I can see all the funds who is buying and selling, and there's the shares of Sun Dhabi that's changing hands. I can see them all here. Debt and credit is similar to the debt structure I show you in company overview. I'm able to see in one glance how much debt Sun Dhabi has, and I can see when they are maturing, when Sun Dhabi issued bonds are maturing, simply by choosing the category maturity. I can also view its issuer rating, if any. Okay, you can see Sun Dhabi issuer rating. Okay, not many Asian corporate bonds actually have S&P, Moody, and Fitch issuer rating. So for this, it's not recorded. I can go to peers and comparison to compare Sun Dhabi across the whole world, all its peers that are under the sector of consumer goods conglomerates. So all I need to do is go to select. Instead of only Malaysia, which I'm going to remove, I want the whole world. So I put whole world here as a field. And I have all these various views or pre-built template that I can make use of. Let's say summary. Click on update view, and I'm be able to view I can view the whole world consumer goods conglomerates who are Sun Dhabi competitors. I can also make use of other sectorial definition. Let's say, for instance, global industry classification scheme owned by S&P. I can come to here. This is gigs, capital goods. Click on update, and once again, I'm able to view all the same sector businesses. One of them being Sun Dhabi. And don't forget, right? You can also export by clicking on the Excel. Okay, the Excel enables you to export the table that you're seeing here. Sorry, this is a big table, so it's taking a little while longer. Oops. Sorry, give me a second. I was wondering what's happening. Sorry, I'm just waiting for it to load. Okay, there you go. See, this time around, the gig sector gives a result of 229, whereas earlier, the Thomson Reuters Business Classification Scheme gave about 120 over only. Okay, so this is company overview. I'm just going to close this. What other overview do you have? I'm going to go to KLSE. Okay, and this time around, I have what we call equity index overview. So far, I've shown you country overview, company overview, and right now we are equity index overview. For equity index overview, you will be able to see the sectorial performance, the top movers, the top losers. You can also go to constituents and see who are the leavers and joiners of this particular index. You can also go to index report to view the constituents. Okay, I can view the constituents and I can always export it. If you don't like this template, you can always go to other previous template. Let's say, for instance, balance sheet, and you'll be able to view the balance sheet of the constituents for this KLSE index. What else can I share with you? Another popularly used app is the screener. So I'm going to go to screener. If you're wondering, hey, how come I know what to type in here, right? Always remember the app library. App library is the place where you can find all kind of apps. And if you attend more of our training, you become very familiar with some of the apps and content that we have. So let's say if I want to select all the stocks in Malaysia with only a buy recommendation, what can I do? I can select country of exchange, type in Malaysia. Right, I have Malaysia here. Click on done. Okay, and then I go to recommendation. Oh, some of you will be wondering, how do I know what to type in here? Sorry about that. You can always select this launch data item library, right? It will launch for you this particular pop-up box. And within the pop-up box, right, you will be able to see a lot of folders. You have price and volume. You have all these various subcategories. You can also go to Refinitiv Financials. Refinitiv Financials, we have more than 1,000 fields. Basically, what this Refinitiv Financial is that whatever you see in the audited financial reports, such as income statements, balance sheet, and cash flow statements, will be available here as well. Okay, so right now I will only require I will only require the recommendation. And I'm going to use the recommendation label. Okay, the mean label. Click on OK, and it must contain buy. Buy. Okay, click on done. So out of the entire Malaysia stock exchange, right, I have about 900 over stocks. How many stock? Oh, sorry. How many stock has a buy recommendation? Sorry, let me use another one. Sorry about that. Launch the data item library. Let me go to recommendation. Okay, so I'm going to go to recommendation mean between 1 to 5. I tell you why. Remember just now I showed you about recommendation, and those recommendation that are 1 is a strong buy, 2 is a buy, 3 is a hold, 4 is a sell, 5 is a strong sell. So I'm going to look for any recommendation with a score of less than 2. In other words, I'm looking for stocks in Malaysia, Bursa Malaysia, that has only a buy recommendation. So you can see out of 900 over stocks, only 142 stocks have a buy recommendation. Okay, so this is from Bursa Malaysia. What else can I share with you? A lot of students always ask me, hey, Wilson, if I would like to do a top-down analysis for my assignment, right? How do I get macroeconomic indicator forecast? You can always go to this ECOP again. If you remember, I told you all the apps that we have are made available within the App Store. So within the App Store, there's this economic indicator post. Like I told you earlier, right? Refinitiv, we are just a financial data vendor. We do not hire any economists or strategies to perform any forecast for you, but rather our data team will go out into the market and they will pull bankers like the economists and strategists who does polls. So I'm going to go to Malaysia and you will see what I mean. So for Malaysia, right, if I'm interested in the GDP, right, and I can always go to the GDP. You can see that this is the inflation quarterly percent change. If I go to the drop down, right, you'll be able to see all the forecasts that's being done by the economy. So below, you can see these are the list of all the banks that's contributing to this forecast. If I don't want inflation quarterly, I can always change this to GDP quarterly. So GDP quarterly is basically the economists forecasting Malaysia GDP on a quarterly basis, and below you'll be able to see all the banks that have contributed to this GDP data. So this is the kind of forecast data that we have for any of the economic time series. What else can you do? You can always go to another thing. If you are dealing with charts, you love charts a lot, you can always go to Chart Studio. If you look at research reports, right, you will be able to notice that a lot of research reports, you have very fanciful charts or very interesting charts to do your analysis. A lot of these charts actually comes from DataStream. Let me tell you why DataStream is so powerful is because we do have a lot of different types of time series. Not only do we have the breadth, but we also have the depth. That means if you need any historical data, let us know. We'll be able to extract the data for you. Now, this data stream, I'm going to go to key indicators. So for key indicators, I will show you the key economic indicator for a particular country. So if I don't want US, I can always type in Malaysia here. All right, and I'm able to see the key economic indicators for Malaysia. Let's say if I like to view the preview of the information, I can always click on the image and I'm able to see the preview. So it's the GDP preview. And let's say this GDP preview from Malaysia is what I really wanted. So I can always move my mouse and then I can click on view new chart. When I click on view new chart, it will take me from key indicators back to the center of chart. Okay, and I'm able to see the absolute GDP time series of Malaysia, but not many of us are familiar with this absolute GDP. We are more familiar with the percentage change one year, and we are able to see the Malaysia GDP on a year-on-year figure. Am I done? No. I'll go to the second row, click on find new chart. Okay, and like I mentioned, whenever you go to the library and make use of DataStream, right, this is what we call a navigator. DataStream Navigator is the name of the search function in this DataStream chart. And you will always need to clear all. When you clear all, right, basically you're reverting back to the original. You can see why a lot of our users around the world love DataStream. We have a large data set. For instance, bond indices, we have more than 70,000 time series. Bond and convertibles, we have more than 3.7 million time series. Commodities, we have more than 160 time series. Constituents list, we have more than 310 constituent lists. Economics, we have more than 17.4 million time series. And the list goes on. How do you search for any time series? Very simple. Just type in the name of the instrument that you're looking for. And this KLSE happens to be an equity indices. So I must look at, next I need to look at the right category. So the category is equity indexes. And the first one is what I'm looking for, which is the Malaysia Ringgit FTSE Bursa index. So I'm just going to check it. Go to my selection, click on return all selection, and I'll be able to get back to my main chart, and I'm able to see my equity index against my year-on-year GDP forecast. Now, the reason why suddenly the equity index cannot be viewed is because it is not using this, it is using the same y-axis. So I need to go to the template or the setup and make sure that I've choose right y-axis. Click on OK, and I'll be able to see the GDP is now making use of the right y-axis. The equity index from KLSE is making use of the left y-axis. So I can notice that the GDP figure actually starts in Q1 of 2016. So I can come to the base date here, change it to Q1 of 2016. Sorry about that. Okay, there you go. So I have the data stream chart for Malaysia, KLSE index versus the GDP index so that I can perform a correlation. Am I done? No, I can always go to chart setting and give it a name. Okay, Malaysia GDP versus KLSE index. Title, make sure that it is centered and click on OK. So I have this particular chart here. I can export this chart by coming to copy chart image. Once I copy chart image, I can copy to clipboard, click on OK. I can always go to my any of the MS Office. I can paste it there. You can see it's pasted into my PowerPoint slide, or I can go to my Word document. I can also paste it there. You can see how easy it is to export charts like from DataStream. What other chart can you find in DataStream? I can go to Chartbook. Chartbook will give me a list of all the charts. These are previous chart that DataStream have. Let's say, for instance, if I want all the charts pertaining to Malaysia, I can click in, enter Malaysia, and I'm able to see all the Malaysia related chart. Other charts that I can view are, let's say, for instance, COVID information. These days, there are a lot of people who want COVID information. Let me show you. We also have COVID information. Again, these are all the previous chart. So let's say global COVID outlook. I can go to case tracker. All right, I can see the number of new cumulative cases. Okay, you can drill down to the charts that you want, and then you can make use of it. All right, news in chart basically shows you all the news that are used, all the charts that are used in the news. Remember Reuters news? If you are reading Reuters news, these are all the charts that are used in the news. If you go to library will show you all the fanciful thing that DataStream can actually do. So if I go to DataStream, right, sample charts, let me show you some of the sample charts. Okay, chart types. Okay, let's say bubble chart. If you're interested to do bubble chart, right, I can show you a preview. These are some of the bubble charts that DataStream is capable of doing. Okay, you have any ideas and you want to present your ideas in any way by using charts, right? data stream is very, very important. Like FOMC dot plot chart is something that a lot of client loves, especially when you're doing the FOMC dot plot chart. It's very important. Pie charts, some analysts like to present their ideas in a pie chart format. Again, very, very important. You make use of data stream. Lastly, tables and heat maps. We are presenting something from a heat map point of view, right? Let's say annual asset performance. You are able to present the financial instrument from a heat map perspective, all right? So what other things do I have for you? I'm going to go to my Excel. In the Excel, right, all I have to do after I've downloaded the software, only if you have downloaded the software, then you have the Excel. If you didn't download the software, the web access will not give you the Excel. I'm just waiting for it to connect. So once it's connected, all the functions here will be lighted up. There you go. I'm going to click on templates. There are approximately about 200 over previous templates in the template library, which you can use as financial model. Okay, 299 templates. The templates are sorted according to these categories. Okay, you can see the various categories here, like company fundamental, data stream, economics, or the asset classes like commodities, economics, equity. Let me show you something that a lot of professors like their students to make use of. It's the weighted average cost of capital. So if you are learning things like dividend discount model or dividend cash flow model, right, where either way, your students will need to do forecasting and need to present value or the future cash flow, forecasted cash flow by the weighted average cost of capital. You can come to this Excel to actually make use of the weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so I have actually downloaded the model, the template, and I can always type in Sime. Sime Darby, or you can type in any listed company. So this is for Sime Darby, and you're able to see the weighted average cost of capital calculation. Again, for corporate finance, very important. As long as you need to divide the future cash flow by the weighted average cost of capital, this is the weighted average cost of capital. What else can you do with the Excel? You can always go to build formula. Okay, this build formula that you see in your Excel is actually a cross-asset formula. You can make use of FX, you can make use of money markets, can make use of derivatives, can make use of bonds, can make use of equity, anything, and you will be able to extract the information. Let's say, for instance, I'm going to type in 0hex.klse to basically call out a list of all the constituents of the KLSE. And then you can see there's a lot of folders here, which is similar to your App Store. And let's say if I want the recommendation mean label, if I want the ESG combined score grade, I want the year-to-date price performance, I can select all of this and then go to layout to make sure that this is the layout that I'm looking for. Okay, I'm happy with the layout, the preview of the layout. I can click on OK, click on insert, and I'll be able to see the data that I've downloaded for all the constituents of the KLSE index. All right, so this is Refinitiv Eikon. If I go to Refinitiv Eikon for data stream, again, it's the same thing. Let me just show you very quickly. If I go to time series request, time series request is for you to choose any listed company and you can download the time series of the fundamentals. I'll give you an example. Let's say if I want Apple, I want Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Alphabet, just to name a few. After I've selected this list of so many stocks, I can go to my selection, return all the selection here, and then choose the data type. Let's say the data type that I want, the historical data, is the market value, which is the market capitalization, the dividend, as well as dividend yield, as well as the PE. Okay, I'm just going to select 3 and then I'm going to return selection. And I want it for the last 5 years. Okay, not on a daily basis, but on a yearly basis. Okay, for the last 5 years. I can click on submit and it will pull out the time series for all these various stocks, market capitalization, dividend yield, and PE ratios. You can see this is for Apple. Remember, this is for Apple. This is for Apple once again is dividend yield. And this is the PE ratio. Remember, I told you I've also extracted it for Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, and as well as Alphabet. Yes, you can do the same for all the others. Now I'm just going to stop sharing here because it's about time for our Q&A. And I'm going to look at the chat. What are the system requirements for running Icon? I think as long as you have um, a laptop that has a 4 gig RAM, you'll be able to install Refinitiv Eikon. And if you have the MS Office for 2013, I think, you will be able to make use of Refinitiv Eikon. If you close this software, does it automatically save the data? The answer is yes, it automatically save for you the last function that you use. But don't forget, in the library situation, you are experiencing multiple users. Some of the whatever you saved, some of the other users can actually undo for you or unsave for you. So my recommendation to all of you students who are using Refinitiv Eikon from the library, please make sure that whatever information you need, you must be able to extract the information. Like for instance, you can export into news or you can copy and paste into your Word document. Okay, that's the answer for system. If you want to trade FCPO, you can find all kinds of news pertaining to a financial instrument under the news area. Yes, for DataStream, we have more than 17 million time series across the whole world. You can access any economic time series for any countries across the whole world. Yes, you can use MS Office 365 with Refinitiv Eikon. Any other questions that you guys will have? Okay, if you don't have any other questions apart from this, I'll hand this time back over to your librarian. I've completed the class. Thank you so much.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Teo. Okay. Well, if anyone have question to ask, you can unmute your mic, or if you also can type at chat box before we left our session. I will count to 5. Okay. Seems like Farashina asking how to find a daily data of market value equity for 10 years.
Sure. Let me show it to you. I'm going to share with you my icon. So you want to answer that question, right? Again, you need to come to your Excel. Okay, make sure you have Refinitiv Eikon installed. Let's say if I go to build formula, and I want Maybank, Sime Darby. Okay, whatever companies I want, I can always type it in. All right. And once I've typed it in, and let's say if I want market cap, I can always put market cap. Okay. And I come to parameters and quick function, go to series. Let me see. Sorry, what was the question again? Daily data for the last 10 years. Okay. So if you want the daily data, you can see that this is D. D is for trading days. And you want for the last 10 years, right? I think for this one, we don't use these parameters. Let me see what if we use this. Okay, I'm trying to find the market cap that is correct in. I'm going to start from 2nd of January 2012. Daily data, okay, for Maybank and SMW. You can add as many companies as you want. And let me check the layout first for this market capitalization. Okay, I'm able to see market capitalization here, and I'll just go ahead to click on insert. So I'm able to see Maybank market capitalization. Okay, let me just edit this a bit. I'm going to put, okay, you can see the market capitalization. And let me scroll down. You'll be a very, very long list because you asked for the last 10 years on a daily basis. Okay, this is Sun W1 already. Okay, Maybank. You can see the list is very long, and somewhere here it stops for Maybank. So this is 2,657 rows of market capitalization data for Maybank for the last 10 years on a daily basis. Okay, you got many, many rows of market capitalization for Maybank. So always make sure you come to the Refinitiv Eikon, go to build formula. And for any time series that you need, right, please remember to use the parameter, check on series. Okay, and what I had done was to basically make use of time series. Okay, I can select start and end. And this is where I've selected the calendar period, select date. Okay, so I'm using calendar period for the last 10 years. Does this answer your question? I hope this answers your question in terms of downloading time series of data.
Okay, all right, Mr. Wilson. We have another one, I think it's from Alia Nadira. Can we use Microsoft Office 365 with Refinitiv Eikon?
Yes, you can.
As long as Microsoft Office, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyone have question to ask?
Sorry, may I request that you share me the attendance list? You don't have to give it to me today. You can share me by next week.
Sure, I can. I will give the attendance list for today, and we also will give the participants the certificate as their token to attend our today events. Okay, seems like we don't have any questions. Okay, Mr. Wilson, thank you so much, Mr. Wilson, for the presentation that has been given. I hope that it will benefit to everyone in the future. So, thank you so much again. It seems like we come to the end of our webinar. So, Mr. Wilson, anyone from you that you want to say for our audience before we left?
Thank you everybody for taking time off to attend my lesson. If you do require any other topics, I'll be more than happy to share with you, especially about ESG, especially if you want to know what's the global economic outlook, if you want to invest in equities. If you want to learn more about One Belt, One Road from China, do let me know as well. I have a lot of topics that I'll be more than happy to share with you. For today, it's just getting started, an overview on the platform.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. We really appreciate about that. Okay, before we end, let me take over the screen for the sharing session to get your certificate. So give me just 5 to 10 minutes to show you the screen. So everybody, before we end, we would like to give you a certificate as a token of appreciation to all of you. Therefore, I will show you how to get the certificate. First of all, I need all of you to Googling the website of library, johor.library.uitm.edu.my. So everybody, I will paste the step also at the chat box. So after you see the front page of the website, you can click at my KM link at the top top menu. You can see port from right, my KM. So you will click to my KM. The page will direct you to the sign in pages. You need to sign it with your Google's ID. So everybody must log in first. And then it will direct you to the My Knowledge Management portals. And you can see at the top menu, second from left, under service at EKKM. You can click participant survey. So you need to enter the reference ID that I given at the chat box. So you can see the reference ID is okay. There is the reference ID JOH2E small capital FGX small capital, and then you need to submit. So after submit, you need to answer the survey, short survey that we provide. Like the line is not okay with us. Okay, try again. And then after you answer the question, you will get the certificate at your right side to be downloaded. Okay, so this is the example of the program evaluation. I need you attention to answer all the questions. Please careful to read at the number 10 and number 11 question. You need to read it properly because there was knowledge before training and knowledge after the training, and give some feedback for us to analyze, and then click submit. After you click submit, you will get e-certificate at the right side of your pages. Okay, you can see the certificate. It will appear, and then you can save it your own records. All right. Okay, there you go. Okay. I hope everyone understand these steps. If you do not understand, you can ask me by emailing me, or I will give the steps to Dr. Muhammad Majid also. All right, everyone, to end our sessions, me on behalf of the organization, I feel very honored that Mr. Teo is willing to share his knowledge with us on this evening. Thank you so much for all participants for being willing to attend today. Thanks to Dr. Muhammad Majid also and their team from Faculty of Business and Management, willing to collaborate with library to make this webinar happen. We hope to see everyone in another sessions again, inshallah. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next time, and goodbye, everyone. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Thank you, Point Ayu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Take care.
Take care. The recorded version I will give to you by, I think tomorrow it will available. No need to worry. Dr. Muhammad will give forward to your WhatsApp group. All right. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad.